Christina, are you there?
Yep.
Perfect. So share your screen and take it away. There you go. Wonderful.
Right. Okay, right. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me today. So as Magnus said, my name is Christina Paun, and I'm one of the co-founders of Peafowl Solar Power, and today I work as a project manager. I'm also the bridge between the technologies, as my background is chemistry and also on the commercial side. So Peafowl is a startup, a spin-out company from Uppsala University here in Uppsala in Sweden. And we are based on a technological breakthrough, and that is the generation of electricity with direct plasma solar cell technology. And we want to use our technology as an energy source to power, at the beginning, low power devices, and moving towards maybe some other type of devices. So this is a completely new mechanism to produce electricity. We are using nanomaterials. These materials have capability of absorbing light 10 times more than any other known material. And this allows us to use very little material, and we can produce solar cells that are very transparent and colorless. We can harvest indoor light or outdoor light. We don't have any toxic or rare elements, and importantly, can be produced at the low temperatures with technologies like inkjet printing or spraying. So we often get asked, how do we compare with other energy harvesting, light harvesting solutions? So we often refer to aesthetical compromises or placement limitations. You can imagine if you want to power, for example, a display, then a dark solar cell cannot be placed on top of it, as it would obstruct the viewer's vision. Also, some of the technology can be used indoor but not outdoor, and vice versa. And also, again, coming back to the manufacturing, some technologies are very energy demanding. So there's a need for more options when it comes to generating electricity where it is needed. So we have identified several verticals, and some of them are for us in the near future, some in the long-term future. So if we look at the verticals that we have identified, we have indoor sensors, displays, wearables, and dynamic glass. We have talked with potential partners and customers. As I mentioned, the display, you can imagine that you can have something very transparent and colorless put in front of a display. It would give enough power for the display to function, extending the lifetime of the battery. So our main scope is to replace or minimize the use of single-use batteries, replace them with something more sustainable. Right, so another way to visualize the segments that I mentioned is to have them as 3 branches, where every segment is a branch. As you can see, there are many potential customers. And partners can be companies that are producing conductive glass or conductive substrates. And all of them, and of course, many more, form a market size that's several billion euros. So each verticals come at different times, as I mentioned, but at the end, at the core, we still have to face the same challenges. We have to increase the performance, to optimize the transparency, to develop some inks that would absorb in different parts of the light spectrum or the entire visible light spectrum. We have actually, in the recent couple of months, a technical breakthrough. That means where we can produce the solar cell on a single glass pane, which means that we are eliminating unnecessary materials and also unnecessary energy-consuming steps in manufacturing. And on the commercial side, we want to implement what we call the Coca-Cola model, which I'll talk about a bit. But we cannot talk about products and solar cells. We're not saying where we are in the development or in the manufacturing stage. So today we are in the lab. We are producing small quantities of solar cell, mainly to develop prototypes with potential customers. But what we want to do, we want to move to this low volume. So we are actually opening a new investment round where we want to use the funds to have our own facility, our own machines to develop the manufacturing in a way that we can move to the high volume, where this will be done to the customer's site or a third-party manufacturer. We also run some numbers in terms of what revenue we can expect. So for example, now we are making a loss because we're making smaller volumes. But once we move to this from low volume to high volume, the margins are increasing dramatically. And we will be more on the software type of revenue that we would expect than a hardware company. I mentioned the Coca-Cola model, and a very, very simplified version. That would mean that the customer will choose the type of substrate, a conductive glass or polymer. And then this is where the Coca-Cola model comes in, that we will provide the ink solution with our secret sauce, how we call it. And then the customer can print with available machines our solar cell on top of their device. And this would mean that we are basically cutting down on the shipment between sites, for example. And then the customer can finalize the product with whatever they would be working on. So what we are doing today, we have a simple testing. We have, which is a multiple sensor in the shape of a picture frame. So we have the electronics embedded in the frame and then the solar cell. And this is done as part of a Vinova project where we are working with Akademicka Hus and Green Innovation Park. Important to mention is that our partner Akademicka Hus thought that this would be a very good prototype and a very good product that they would like to have if this was on the market. So we wouldn't be here if we didn't have our team. So when we started, it was myself and Jacinto, which is the other co-founder. Now we are a team of 11. We have 6 nationalities. We come from different backgrounds, different experiences, and all of us work together having the same goal to bring Peafowl as one of the most important companies when it comes to energy harvesting. So as it was mentioned at the beginning, we were one of the companies that won one of the prizes in Startup for Climate last year. And I want to thank all the organizers and then the jury for electing us. It was a great experience. And most importantly, the funds really helped us to maximize our R&D efforts and to retain a very talented person in our team. We have increased our IP portfolio, which of course this will help us to be on the market faster. And we enjoyed and learned from the direct feedback that we had during the coaching with Jane Vallerud. And it was a very good exposure in press and the social media channels. So thank you again very much.
Thank you so much, Christina. Excellent presentation. And if anyone has a question, because Christina was a little bit better in time than most people are, so we have a little bit of time. If there's a question, put them on the chat. And also I have a question for you, Christina. How with this kind of almost magical technology, because it's to normal human beings, it's kind of magic that you can do what you do. How easy is it to discuss this and present that to customers and make them understand what's going on and make them start to think your way?
Well, it is, yeah, as I said, it is not very easy because it's very hard to put a tube or a glass and show them, well, here is a solar cell. And they say, well, it looks like a glass, so how does it work? So then you have to connect it. That's why, for example, we're working now with prototypes. We have to show them, they have to see it. So seeing is believing. So this is the way we're going to show that it works.